You had a full 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But that doesn't matter because it's your birthday.
It is my birthday. And thank you so much for this wine.
Yes.
Thank you.
I saw it and it was cute. So
it is gorgeous. Look at this bottle. You know, I'm a big fan of presentation in anything. You know, if something's beautifully presented or beautifully marketed, I'm like snapping it up. And this is lovely, Sarah.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
And it's got a beautiful saying on the back. Did you read that?
No, I did not.
It says, sometimes a glass is filled with more than just wine. Our summer in a bottle wines evoke the sea air.
Ooh.
Hampton sunsets and summertime adventures. Summertime adventures. I could use a summertime adventure.
There you go.
It says, enjoy a glass and savor the experience. So thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
Enjoying a glass.
It should say drink up, to be honest. So.
Bottoms up.
Since it's your birthday.
Hi, beautiful girl. Oh, thank you. Hi, beautiful girls. Thank you, Michelle.
You know, it's so good to have you on, Michelle. Happy birthday. I know you guys are birthday twins. So, Michelle, happy birthday to you, too. And Linda says happy birthday to you.
Hi, Linda. Thank you. Thank you. It's exciting to have a birthday.
Yes, Michelle, we hope you are having a glass of wine with us on your birthday to celebrate. I'm sure it's awesome having a birthday in quarantine.
I'm having a birthday in quarantine. I'm breaking loose today. Visiting loved ones.
We have somebody in the office who also has a birthday later on this week. Tomorrow. So everyone was kind of like, what are you doing for your birthday? And she goes, oh, I'm just going to have a glass of Prosecco and watch the birds.
And she's British. So in order to fully appreciate her comment, you have to hear it with kind of a British accent, which is, oh, I think I'm going to have a glass of Prosecco and watch birds.
Yes. So that's a birthday quarantine. Is all about just sitting outside and having a glass of Prosecco and watching
the birds.
There you go. All right. So now that we've gotten all of our happy birthdays, we're probably going to do a ton of happy birthdays.
Yeah, I want a ton of happy birthdays. I mean, to heck with this color and warm, cool thing we got planned for you guys today. I want you to spend all day wishing me happy birthday.
Okay. Yes. And we have to talk about color. We have a really cool, I'm really excited about today because we're talking about hair color, trying to figure out what the best hair color is for your skin tone, your eyes. We're going through it all. This is probably going to be a longer than usual wine about it, but we are diving deep into figuring out your best hair color.
You know what a longer than usual wine about it means in reality when you've got this in front of you? It means a drunker than usual wine about it.
Why not?
Wine not? Oh, genius.
I've been waiting to use that. I just forget every single time. I need to come up with more wine puns so I can just come out with them and be stronger about my wine puns. All right, so we have a couple more people that are on that we've got to say hello to. So we have Deborah. Hi, Deborah. It's so good to have you on. And Patty, so happy to have you here. And Linda, you're excited about the topic. So are we. I didn't even get to finish. We're even going to go and do a quiz. We're going to quiz you on some celebrity skin tones to see if they're warm, cool, or neutral. So,
oh my gosh, did you see Carrie says that her birthday is tomorrow? Same day as Claire. Happy birthday, Carrie.
Man, this week is like the birthday week. It's awesome. I love having all these birthdays, except when you're in quarantine. I'm so sorry about that. I'm hopefully I don't have a birthday in quarantine, but I think
first is a month away.
Yeah.
So we have 30 days to kind of get ready for that birthday. And I promise you, you will get a beautiful bottle of wine. I am so blown away by this. I'm going to put little wheat lights in it, the little tiny lights. and I'm going to turn it into something lovely that I can remember forever.
It's very gorgeous bottle of wine for a gorgeous person.
Like all of our gorgeous people here.
Yeah. So we're super excited today. We're going to have so much fun talking about color and hair color, skin tone, eye color, and trying to figure out what the best hair color is for all of you out there. So,
and to you, Deborah is like our color problem child, because everybody has looked at her palette and everybody has had like, they've all said, we think you're a spring, but Deborah has this incredibly bold personality and she can wear winter. And so maybe this will help us kind of narrow down Deborah's choices as well.
Oh, yes. That's the challenge of today. We are going to narrow down Deborah's choices as well. So to begin this, it's all about finding out if you're warm or if you're cool or if you're a neutral skin tone. So I'm just going to dive right in and I'm going to bring up our first slide. All right. So as you can see here, the top section, we have cool skin tones. The bottom section, we have warm skin tones. But
I guess the best way to think about this, Sarah, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is if you were looking at foundation and you could not try it on, which foundation would you choose for yourself?
And
I, believe it or not, I know that because of my sun abuse and the fact that I get a little more sun than I should, I'm not really naturally a warm skin tone, even though I may look a little bit like it here because I've gotten sun over the years and you can see age spots and things.
Right here is where I really see your tanness.
But if you look at my palm, you'll see that it's mostly pink, which makes me a cooler skin tone. Let me see your palm, Sarah.
Wait, this one.
Now, what does that tell you? That's the difference between a cool palm and a warm palm. So, you can carry on.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was just going to say, we need to go through some of the other ways to figure out how to determine if you're a cool, a warm, or a neutral skin tone. Now, when we were talking about this, we were trying to figure out the best way. And there's so many different theories out there. And, you know, you can look at your veins, which... it's a little confusing.
I have a personal bias against the vein test because I look at my veins and sometimes they seem green and sometimes they seem blue, and it depends on the light that they're in. And I think the whole vein test is
Yeah, when I look at my veins, I like it doesn't seem right, but if I'm actually looking at my veins, I have some blue that comes up here and some green, and all the way down I have green and blue, and I'm just like, I don't know. So I just chalk it up to I don't know.
For those of you who believe in the vein test, who clearly want to know what that is, I'm going to tell you the theory. Even though I don't subscribe, which is not a cool way to present a theory. It's like you're a professor and you're presenting something and you're saying,
See, we're already getting comments that Brenda says, I have both. Me too. Me too.
Thank you, Brenda. Exactly. Because in theory, you can look at your veins in your arm and they will look either blue or green. If you really look at the veins, and green is supposed to mean that you have a warm skin tone, and blue is supposed to mean that you have a cool skin tone. But if you really look at your veins, you will see, as Brenda sees, as Sarah sees, both.
Yeah, there's not one place where it's exactly the same color through a vein. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, if any of you guys out there have a different experience, we always want to hear the different experience. So if some of you look at your wrists or whatever, and you seem strictly, if the veins look blue purple, which is really, it's not really blue or green, blue purple or blue green.
And comments are coming through about everyone saying, I have both. I don't know. Susan said she has both. Carrie says mine are more teal. Debbie, I'm telling you, I try so hard to work the vein test. And people always ask about the vein test. And I just, they always come and say, I don't know what to do because mine are both. I don't know how to do the vein test. So I've kind of
have an answer.
Right. Don't do the vein test because honestly, it is really complicated and hard to figure out. So
which makes it kind of not effective.
Right. And not one person is the same. Your veins might be a little bit more blue, or they might be a little bit more green. They could be in the middle, and some could be extra blue and some could be extra green. I don't know. I don't do the vein test because it can get very confusing. So what do we recommend?
Keep in mind that if your veins are any other color than the ones we've described, go to the ER.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're not doctors either, so we should probably say that as well. Now, but the recommendation for what we think that you should look for is, I was gonna let you.
Oh, I thought you were. I didn't realize you were tossing it over to me. I was fascinated with what you were gonna say. I was like, "What's there?"
Hold for applause.
I prefer looking at jewelry, and let's face it, being a jewelry maker myself, and really having a kind of a penchant for the metals. Noble metals. We out there in the jewelry world, you have silver or white gold or platinum. Those are considered cool metals, right? Cool metals are unsaturated and they don't really have a color. Well, in our world, for what we're looking at right now, that's cool. Then you can look at other metals like gold, rose gold, even copper, and those are warm. So I think a wonderful test is to look at jewelry against your skin. If the jewelry against your skin is harmonious, and remember that word keeps cropping up, if there's color harmony, then you're warm. Like Sarah's holding up a gold hoop. So the gold hoop against her skin, it's harmonious. It's of a piece. And so that's a good way to tell that you have a warm skin tone. If you're dealing with platinum or white gold, that's a good way to tell that you have a cool skin tone. If you go, what about sterling silver? Like large, chunky sterling silver. If you find that is the only, for me, in terms of jewelry, that chunky silver is my go-to. I love it. So that element for me tends to, if you were just looking at me like this, you would say, well, maybe you've got a little warm in your skin. Part of it is my background, and part of it is the fact that over the years I have misbehaved in the sun. So I don't have that pure cool, but if you look at my palm, you'll see,
where are we?
I'm cool. So then if you look at silver against my palm or even against my skin, it still works. It is harmonious. So I love the jewelry test. Now, if we had earlier said warm, cool, or neutral as you're looking at hair color. Neutral. Let's talk about neutral. What's a good jewelry test for neutral? Well, there are many, many, many pieces of jewelry that are made that are both cool and warm. They're made with silver and gold. As part of their, and I was reaching to grab one, but I couldn't. Anyway, I'll do that when Sarah's talking.
There's so many out there, except I just couldn't find one right now.
Yeah, I've got it laying right here. I can't find it. So when those are blended together in like a warm and a cool, maybe this is a good, you can't really, that doesn't really help. But when you blend them together, you'll find that there are people who look stunning in a combination of gold and silver. Mm-hmm. Well, I like to say that those people are probably neutral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you can wear both, that's kind of where you are in that neutral spectrum. If you're not quite that warm and if you're not quite that cool, then you fall right in the middle. And it doesn't have to be really hard. I mean, I know if, we put up cool and we put up warm, but if you're saying I'm not that warm and I'm not that cool either, you're neutral and you don't have to work too hard at it. Don't overthink it, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say.
And when we're talking about not overthinking it, if your jewelry accents everything that you are, if it is an accent, and let's say you're wearing a necklace, a gold necklace, if that gold melts into your skin and looks like a beautiful accent for your skin, then you're warm. If it sits on top of your skin and looks a little wrong, then you're cool. And the exact opposite is true. If I wear a gold chain, it looks like it doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
And Carrie is bringing up our next point. Eye color.
Oh, yes. Eye color is another big indicator about kind of where you are. Now, of course, there's always that neutral eye color thrown in the middle, which makes things a little bit more complicated. And that's why we had a really hard time determining how we were going to teach you how to figure out your skin tone, because there are a lot of methods out there, whether trying to figure out your undertones and things like that. And it can be really difficult because there's even like a tanning one. If you tan, then you're warm. But people can tan like you and still have that cool undertone. So there's a lot of different tests out there. And I don't want to say this is the only test. You can really look at it as a whole. And if you're in the middle and you're saying, well, I look good in silver, but I also look good in gold, you're neutral. Don't overthink it.
And for neutral may not apply in terms of, like, we don't have a season for neutral, but for hair color, believe me, neutral works. And and we'll get into that a little bit later. But one thing we may have skipped over, and again, I keep showing my palm and showing it against my face. The thing is, I used to be warm. I used to be as warm as Sarah. And wait,
where's my hand? It's really difficult because we're flipped and we're cut in a
so every time I feel like I get it perfect, you move your hand.
It's a struggle, so we're kind of both. I'm just gonna throw it up.
Okay. So I used to be as cool as Sarah. Or, I'm sorry, it used to be warm like Sarah. It's the beautiful wine that you gave me. So as I've aged, I've done what everyone does, and it's a perfect thing to talk about on my birthday. The melanocytes in my system, both the ones that colored my hair used to be the color of Sarah's, and the ones that color my skin, they get lazy. A better word is they disappear, right? So everybody fades with age, just like certain pieces of cloth, or just like your lawn furniture. Fades with age. So with age, don't look so sad. It's okay, Sarah. I'm okay with it.
Happy birthday!
You can see my hair is no longer Sarah's color. And I celebrate that. I like my hair color now. I like all the seasons of my hair. The warm in my skin has become cool in my skin. Again, I celebrate that. That's okay because it goes with my hair.
That's a good way to look at it.
But having said that, some of you who used to have a very warm skin tone need to reevaluate.
Yes. We hate to say that, but we all lose our melanocytes over time, and it happens to everyone. So yes, sometimes it is good to reevaluate your season and make sure you are still in the right season. And there's a million things. If you want to be warm, you can be warm and we can help you. We can give you some warmer colors in your foundation, warm up your hair. Absolutely. You can be whatever you want. You can have whatever hair color you want, and we will show you how to harmonize. So you don't have to, but if you want to be a particular season, we can get you there. So no worries. We have all the modern day technologies.
Carrie has asked the $54,000 question, and here I'm going to go off topic, which drives Sarah nuts. So watch Sarah's face. Watch me go off topic.
Let's do it.
She says, I'm 58 tomorrow. Oh my God, Carrie, is tomorrow your birthday?
Yes.
Oh, we have Claire, we have me, we have so many birthdays. Oh my gosh. Happy birthday, everybody. So it depends. Your season may not change with age. If you're a winter, I've seen very few winters ever change seasons, if any, ever. I can't even think of one.
Yeah, usually when you go winter, you usually go from your winter coloring, and then you go to salt and pepper, and then you go to silver fox.
Yeah, so, your winter.
Yeah.
Now, autumns, like Sarah and like I used to be, autumns typically, if you gray, you go to summer. Two summer seasons.
I want to make sure everyone understands why we're saying that, because we're talking about melanocytes again. You lose saturation. The one thing that we all notice is you lose saturation in your hair. Redheads, we go gray. It happens. Our brows aren't red anymore. Our hair isn't red anymore. We all start to gray. It's normal. But also you lose the warmth in your skin tone as well. And that's another topic that we wanted to bring up. The whole skin tone thinning is another thing. Your skin tone thins as we age. So
your skin thins.
Yes.
Your skin tone change.
Yes.
Another sip, Sarah.
I know. I'm so
glad about
it. Too bad we're live. Normally I would just chop that out. Can't do that. So that's what we mean. Just being a warmer season, it's tough because we all tend to go a little cool, and we have to make that commitment to switch over at some point.
And if you're looking, Carrie says she's an autumn. Carrie, pretty soon, girl, you're going to join my club. If you decide not to color your hair, girl, welcome.
When did you switch? When did you make the commitment to switch from being the autumn to? Because I know you were dyeing your hair for a while. So when did you actually make that switch?
I don't know. It was probably in the Jurassic era. I don't remember. It was like a decade ago, if that. And really, I just got tired of it. And everybody knows that, the transition from a color, and my transition was easy because I had that auburn color that you have. And then what I was doing was highlighting it a lot with gold, like rose gold highlights and gold highlights. And I would do that over and over again. So there were many, many, many shades of gold in my hair. Then the gray would grow in. So the transition wasn't as stark as going from auburn to silver. It was going from auburn to blonde to silver, which wasn't horrendous. But then I started thinking, I like what's happening up here. And when you color your hair, you flatten it. And so I like the fact that I've got everything up there from like a dark color to a light color. And I just decided to embrace it.
Yeah. Hey, as an autumn, I know I'm going to be there one day, and I am excited about it. I love seeing those. I have really, you guys have seen it. I have pretty curly hair, and it's kind of wild and thick and coarse hair. So I'm excited to actually go gray. I don't think I'm going to be somebody who really tries to hold on to my red. I really like the whole gray hair and that thick and curly and wild. I love that look. So I'm actually pretty excited. And I know, I'm somebody who does not get out in the sun at all. So I'm not going to have the challenges you did with your skin tone, being somebody who loved being out in the sun and tanning as much as you could.
Because from here to here, I present a warm skin tone. Mm-hmm. Now, where there isn't sun or where there wasn't sun, no, I'm cool. Mm-hmm. So that's okay. But reeling back to being on topic, your skin tone will be reflected in your choice of hair color. You'll want to make sure that your hair color is complementary to your skin tone, and, your eye color. And the best way to tell, and knowing you're warm, cool, or neutral will help you make a choice in terms of your ultimate color. And what does neutral mean? Because we don't really, in the Four Seasons palette, we don't really talk about neutral so much, right? Mm-hmm. Neutral means that you're not really warm or you're not really cool. Mm-hmm. It means that you are in a soft place in the center.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And we have a quiz coming up. So
yeah, let's do it.
Don't think you get out of this because we're quizzing everyone out there. All right. So I want you to really look at this graphic we have up right now. So our top square is going to be our cool. That's going to be our cool skin tones. And our bottom is going to be our warm skin tones. And then if you're in the middle, you're neutral. Easy as that. And neutral is hard. I find finding somebody neutral because I want to place you in a cool or a warm box. But sometimes you're just in the middle. So
and we have a name for that. We call it soft. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not really warm and you're not really cool, you're a soft. You're an ish.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm going to take this away and I'm going to grab our first celebrity. Now, our first celebrity is easy. I made this super easy. And honestly, I Googled most popular celebrities or something like that. And I was trying to find somebody who everyone
got me.
Yeah. So I wanted some people that I could do that everyone knows. We kind of see them a lot. The only problem with celebrities that I had was lighting changes their skin tone a lot. Their background changes their skin tone a lot. Foundation changes their skin tone a lot. And it looks like, and there's some celebrities out there that want to be tan, so they bronze them up really harshly. And so I tried really hard to find some celebrities and figure out how, over a time, where we could determine their skin tone. Now, the first person that came up when I Googled most popular celebrities was, of course, Beyonce. And she's so easy to figure out. So,
wait.
I'm not going to say. I'm going to get her on screen. So, Beyonce. It just screams one way. So, what do you think she is? Warm, cool, or neutral? And the actual color of the words warm, cool, and neutral are I select a color straight from her actual skin tone. So the words warm, cool, and neutral are actually straight from, I think, like her shoulder or something, to try to get a color that's a little bit more, that's not heavily covered in foundation.
Oh, and Sarah, that's really difficult.
Yeah, I know. It's so easy. Beyonce, look at her. She has
we got it. We got more, yeah. Of course.
Mm-hmm. We already have some answers coming through. She is warm for sure. I mean, and she dressed warm. She knew she's warm. She always knows what she's doing. So it's Beyonce. I mean,
although if I were dressing her, I would have put her in a dress that was a little more toward copper and less toward gold because she is so warm. She is so coppery, warm, red. And copper, her skin tone is not really a yellow gold. It's a copper gold.
Right. So yes, I agree. I think the dress could have been have a little bit more red undertones in there. And I still want that dress. How do I get that dress? But yes, she's warm. It's Beyonce. Oh, easy as that. So let's go into our next person who, once again, I Googled the most popular people I could find, and I found one of each. So we have our warm. Now let's show our next person, who is Taylor Swift. And once again, the words warm, cool, and neutral are done. I picked a piece of her neck, I think, and made those letters the exact color of her skin tone. So those colors are done in her skin tone, so you can just pull it right out. Now, is she warm, cool, or is she neutral?
Now, remember, we spoke to you about jewelry, and we spoke to you about eye color. A recap on the eye color, if you're dealing with blues, if they're icy blue and more toward true blue rather than turquoise, it's cool.
I hate to give it away so fast, but yes, remember your skin tone. You can look to see if it's warm or cool. You can also look to see if eye color. So once again, her eye color, it doesn't have a lot of warmth to it. It's this really icy, cool blue. And of course, she looks awesome. Her roots, I can see her roots a little bit, and it's that ish color. There's no saturation. Now it looks like she does have some highlights in there with a little bit of saturation towards the end, but her roots are pretty cool. So,
and this is so juvenile, but I have 2 grandsons, and I'm just going to say it. I look at the cartoon, the Disney cartoon Frozen, and I think of Elsa as ultimate in cool.
Yeah.
Anna as the ultimate in warm. So when I'm looking at people, I'm thinking, are they an Elsa or an Anna?
And I mean, you get that coolness from her. And so we're trying to pick up on a few little things. There's a lot to look at here. So remember, just look at that eye color, her roots. This helps to see her roots just because you don't have
red or gold highlights.
Right. Don't look at her highlights. Look at her actual root color. And then her eye color is another thing that gives it away. So those icy blue eyes, she's cool. We can get that. And she has that pink undertone to her skin.
And ding, ding, Debbie, you got it.
Nice. Now,
completely wiped herself. I'm sorry. The star. I'm so excited.
It's your birthday, so of course you're a star. All right, our last one. This is going to be pretty easy. Once again, I pulled from her shoulder because I felt like it might not be as heavy of foundation on her shoulder. So the warm, cool, and neutral is actually a color straight from her shoulder that I pulled. This one is, I would say this one is tough because if you look, it looks like she's got some warmth going on.
And you haven't given any jewelry clues.
Right.
And the eyes don't really give us a clue. I mean, it's not like she's got the amber eye. And it's not really like she's got that red-brown eye. We don't have the cool blue versus the warm blue. But what does that tell you in the overall scheme of things?
So I can't put her in a box is my problem. I can't say there's one thing about her that's warm. There's not one thing about her that's cool. She's just she's in between.
Here's another test that I like to, being my age, I like to think of her, what would she look like in orange tone lipstick, and what would she look like in orchid, cooler tone lipstick? Well, I don't really see her in either. I don't see that the orange, I mean, she's wearing kind of a peachy tone now, but if I were to take your lips and move them right over on her, well, move them right over on her, I wouldn't see it. But Deborah says that she looks warmer than you do. Well, Sarah, that's a great clue.
Okay.
So, and her peachy lip, that might be, move her a little toward warm there. But imagine we could still put a berry lip color on her and she would be beautiful. So people who are really hard to classify one way or the other way, I tend to think of them as neutral.
Yeah, if you're having trouble figuring out what your skin tone is, then don't stress yourself. Don't put yourself into that box. It could just be in between. Because I've seen her in gorgeous cool tone lipsticks that look stunning on her. Granted, if you look at her ends, you can tell she's definitely dyed her hair warm. So be careful of that as well, because it looks like she's trying to push herself to be warm. But if you look at that natural skin tone, look at her cheeks. They look a bit cooler. Look at underneath her eyes. So there's really just this in between that is kind of hard to determine where she falls. I'm having a really hard time determining where she falls. And don't let, things like, you can definitely tell she's wearing a warmer tone foundation. But if you look in the center around her eye area, she doesn't have that warmth to her. She doesn't, the center, the shoulders, she doesn't have that warmth and high points.
If you've got a real problem deciding whether somebody is warm or cool, just go with neutral. It's easy because when we get to hair color, we're going to talk about that.
So, yeah, I was just going to say, this is how we determine what her hair color is going to be now. So Linda, yes, neutral. It's difficult because if you are having any trouble at all, do not worry. You don't have to put yourself into warm or cool. You can be in that neutral area. You can look at, I've seen Selena with blonde hair. She's dyed her hair blonde before, and I've seen how good her skin tone looks. Now, she doesn't have that warmth to her when she dyes her hair that ash blonde. Her skin tone's very cool, and she goes very cool. But when
let me tell you when you do need to worry. You take somebody like me, and my skin tone is cool. If I dye my hair or have my hair dyed with the slightest little bit of yellow, I look like a WWE wrestler. I mean, it is so wrong. You can see that and the term that comes to mind is brassy. And people go, oh, my hair's so brassy. Why does it look so brassy? Well, maybe it's the wrong color for you. And the same, going in the other direction. If you're really warm and you were to dye your hair to be a color more like mine, then it stands out. It looks like, oh, wow, she tried to dye her hair a crazy gray color. And, it's dramatic. But
she ticks the box she ticks the box in the warm, but she also ticks the box in the cool. So if you're ticking both boxes, then you're probably neutral. And I think her hair color is trying to be warm and her lip color is trying to be warm. But if you look at her roots, cool roots, her brows, cool brows. So, and her cheeks, I'm seeing a lot of that pink in there, that pink undertone. So I'm checking both boxes.
Without the hot hair.
Another sip. We all need another sip.
Without the highlights in her hair that they're kind of on the orange side. They're on the orange family. Without those, and without the peachy colored lips, she would be a very classic winter.
Yeah, if we were to drop a pink lipstick on her, a very cool pink lipstick, and got rid of those warm highlights, she would definitely be a winter. So
now, be careful when you say pink lipstick, because remember, Winters are bold. So the pink would be like a
shocking pink is
or ruby or something that. And remember, winters can wear red, like a fire engine red lip, which she obviously could do beautifully. Maybe one of our future videos we could put all of those makeup looks on her for you and see what you think.
Ooh, that would be good. But you know what else I could see her in like a tomato red. That would still look gorgeous.
And that moves her back over toward warm.
Right? So, you know, we can keep talking about how good she looks in this, but how good she looks in that. And we've seen her go both ways. We've seen her be completely cool. We've seen her be completely warm. And her skin tone is just right in the middle where there's
neutral. That's what neutral means.
Yeah.
And for those of you out there who have a difficult time, you know, actually describing yourself as one season or another, and you know who I'm talking about, maybe you've got to just say, look, you know, I'm neutral. And because you're neutral, you get a lot more options than someone like me, for example, or someone like Sarah.
Now, I will say, because once again, I can go out in the sun and tan, but I don't. I'm very homebody. I stay at home as much as I possibly can. So I have no color in my skin tone. So there are certain things that are more neutral that I can wear, but with my red hair, my red brows, I just right to the warm.
But I have a question for you. Before you do your brows, natural brow, what color is your brow?
They are not the color of my hair. They are I would say, dustier version of my hair. I put it in brow. Next time I see you guys, I'll make sure not to do my brows so I can show you what they naturally are. I would say they're definitely cooler. I definitely have cooler brows than what my natural hair color is, but I do match my brows to my hair.
Do you know what that means? It means that you will, in fact, become a me. You will, in fact, go gray because you are already kind of moving in that direction.
Yeah, I absolutely am. So once again, though, I love gray. I love all different shades of gray. I think it's such a gorgeous color, and I'm so glad it is so trendy because I'm excited to go gray, to be honest. Why not? I think it would be a fun time.
So you would never consider changing. So what we're here to talk about is how people can choose a color, a color to dye their hair. So you're dealing with two people who have natural color hair. So how do you talk to somebody about choosing a color?
$1 million question right there. But
for one thing, you need to decide if you want to project a different you, right? Because you have many, many options. One of your options is to eliminate gray and go with a color that's closer to the color you were when you were younger, or when you were 7 years old. That's a choice. Another option is you want to just do something that's radically, the other end of the spectrum would be something that's radically different, like a super light hair with a shock of color. That's a choice. So you have some slides there, don't you, that talk a little bit about hair color. And once you've determined if you're warm or cool, and you want to have a color that is harmonious with warmth or coolness or your neutralness. If you're neutral, you can choose either way.
So here we go. Here is we have cool hair color at the top. We have warm color at the bottom. Now there are two shades that I want to bring up. If you notice in our top cool section, those bottom two are reds, but they are blue reds.
Burgundies.
Right, not warm reds like our coppers. So there are two reds that I wanted to make sure you saw. that are in the cool family. And then we also have our warm colors at the bottom.
Sharon Osbourne, because Sharon Osbourne is a cool woman. She's very cool. I like her. But she's also visually cool. And so for many, many years, she made her hair color choices out of those two reds there in the bottom, top section, bottom left. And because she was a winter. And then in the same palette, if you notice, she determined that she would let her hair grow in to her natural color. And she went right up to the top left and maybe the second, but I think the upper left corner. So she went from the burgundy to the upper left corner, looking fabulous in both hair colors because she embraced the fact that she was cool.
Oh yeah, Sharon Osbourne is an amazing example of somebody that decided to go gray. Oh, she's just it made her look younger. It's, you know, a lot of people don't believe that going gray could actually make you look younger, but Sharon Osbourne is the perfect example.
I think she was less harsh. And I have some friends who dye their hair, you know, and they're trying to, you know, escape the idea, you know, dye away the gray, cover the gray. And, you know, you hear so much of that now since people can't get out to the hair salon. And it's like, I really need to cover my gray and whatever. And so many of my friends are doing that. But what happens is there becomes a dichotomy between their skin tone, because remember, we fade. And I'm celebrating that. I'm becoming softer and I'm more lovable, and birthday! Happy birthday to me. And so I've become softer in my appearance. So if I were trying to dye my hair to match what I used to be, imagine Sarah's hair on me. Might you see a little less harmony there? Might that be a little jarring to the eye if you were an artist? If you were saying, well, you know, I'm looking for something that's harmonious and of a piece, because there's no aspect of our appearance that we want to stand out dramatically beyond us, because our whole us are what we want to project to others.
And I also want to mention, thinking about if I were to take my hair and dump it on top of your head, another problem I think is your brows is another thing that you have to consider when dyeing your hair as well. What is your brow color? Are you naturally cool? Are you naturally warm brow?
And my brow color is naturally invisible. I went from, you know, having brows to having white brows. So my brows, I look like Mona Lisa when I get up in the morning. So it's not, you know, I could paint on the brow and I would look harsh. It would look harsh on me, because if you look at Sarah's face and my face, I no longer have those elements of color that enable me to become a platform for that color hair. This whole reverse thing, it's, let me take another drink.
Maybe you'll get it right.
I just know that if I'm doing the wrong thing, if I'm thinking myself as doing the opposite of what I need to be doing, I'm pointing to Sarah.
Yeah. So I just make sure you're considering your brows as well. And also what colors you love is another thing that you should consider, because if you love certain colors, then go for it. It's totally up to you. And the only way that you can, if you want to be like, if I'm an autumn and I really, really want to be a summer, I would go for an ash colored hair. I would go for a neutral foundation. I would not put auburn in my brows. I would make my brows more ashy looking, so it would match my ash colored, like a soft brown ash color. And I can do that. I can become a summer if I wanted to, with dyeing my hair, doing my brows.
Maybe because you're soft. But imagine I decide I want to be a spring. And look at that color in the upper left-hand quadrant of the warm section of color.
The bottom section.
The bottom section, but the top row. Take that color and move it over to my hair, and I would look like I had an unfortunate incident with a bottle of peroxide.
Well, that would be my equivalent to being a winter. I think if I were to go winter where I did jet black hair, completely jet black hair, it would be hard to get my brows that dark. And my skin tone, since I am a bit warmer, my skin tone is a bit warmer when I do it. Like we have black wigs at work that we put on, and you know, we have fun. So I have definitely seen it. It is very, very jarring to see me with it. It doesn't harmonize. I just, no matter what I do, it is really hard to get myself, because, you know, my skin tone is a bit warmer, so it kind of goes green, and I have some trouble. But
well, remember the Academy Awards? It was that star. What was her name? That went from, we recognized her as being a blonde, but then her hair was black on the runway, and she had a cool blue dress on.
Oh, Charlize.
Yes. And so that's a perfect example, because her hair was so jarring. Now, maybe because they chose an orange lip for her in that particular outing, that made it even worse. But it was so stark. And what we don't want, we want somebody to look at us and say, oh, you guys are beautiful, or you're beautiful, or whatever. We don't want people to look at us and go, ah, gosh, I like your orange hair. So like Sharon Osbourne. Let's go back to Sharon Osbourne. When she changed her hair to go to embrace her white, what happened? People said, Sharon, you look younger. Oh my gosh, you look fantastic. Never in the press did I read, hey, I like your white hair. Did you? No. And our goal in all this is to select a color that is harmonious to us, so that somebody will see us and say, hey, you look beautiful. Hey, you look rested. Hey, you look younger. You know, you look fantastic. Not, wow, look at that red hair.
Yeah. That's how you know that you're in the right season, is those kind of compliments. If somebody points out one thing in particular, like, I like your shirt color or your hair color, then you know there's something a little bit jarring about it. And that's kind of a way to tell if you're in the right season. Now, I do want to circle back just to make sure that everyone understands that if you are a cool skin tone, that top section of hair color, that's really what's going to help you harmonize with your skin tone. If you're a very warm skin
and eye color.
Yes, if you have cool eyes, cool skin tone, your brows are cool, those top cool colors of hair are going to be for you. Now, if you're in that bottom section, you have the warmth, you have very warm brows, warm skin tone, you have very warm eyes, like
ambers, teals,
like caramelly kind of browns, then that bottom section is going to be for you. Now, if you're neutral, or if maybe one box ticks off warm, the other box ticks off cool, you're kind of in the middle, you work with what you want. You kind of have that.
Having said that, it's always a good idea, if you're neutral, to blend the two together. To ask your stylist to say, I don't want to go warm, I don't want to go cool, I would like you to blend something for me that's kind of in the middle.
Right, because it's going to be hard to just go a vibrant red. It's going to be so hard to just go jet black, because that contrast is going to be very harsh. So you do have to really kind of find that perfect harmony in between.
And age is a factor. And I hate to say this, And Sarah can't really speak to this because she is younger than I am. But age is a factor when you're choosing a hair color because you have softened. You know, even if you've dyed your hair black every day of your life and people call you Raven and, you know, that's like who you are, everything else has softened. Your brows have softened. Your skin tone has softened. Your eye color has softened. So it's so important to factor those in, that you choose a color that is softer than it was 25 years ago. So when people say, well, I'm going to get, you know, the color that I used to have when I was born with jet black hair. Be careful, because jet black might not be soft enough for you as a 50-year-old woman, as a 60-year-old woman. And having a birthday today, let me celebrate. Happy birthday to me. Let me just mention that again. It's important to make sure that your choices, that you choose something that's soft enough for the rest of you.
And once again, take those brows into consideration, because your brows will give you a lot of information. Like you, for example, your brows have softened. But me, I got these thick, bold brows. So take that into consideration. You know, would I go jet black? No, but you know, if I wanted to go cool out of nowhere, I would probably do like an ash-eared cool.
You have to do, and you know, just completely cover any red or gold tones in your hair if you decided to do that. And that's tough to do. Particularly with a brow color, because imagine you have a warm golden brow and you've decided you want to go platinum white, a la top section, left side. It's going to be difficult to make that work. What you'll notice in Hollywood is that they just go dark ash brown. And whether you're a warm blonde, whether you're a cool blonde, they do brows that are ash brown, a color we call haze, which is a neutral. It's not really warm, it's not really cool, it's not really black, it's not really light. And that helps them achieve whatever hair color that they need.
Oh yeah. And remember, you can dye your hair whatever color you want. That's the thing I want to throw out. Do whatever you want, but if you want to stay harmonized, it is a bit of work. You know, you do have to kind of neutralize your foundation or your skin tone. You have to figure out how to neutralize your brow. You need to figure out what colors for lipsticks. Are you going to be soft? Are you going to be deep? There's a lot of work that goes involved.
And then it affects your wardrobe. So let's say that you decide you want to jump outside of your season and do a hair color that is not your season. We rely strongly on hair color to determine what clothing choices are the best. For example, let me tell you, this morning I had a different shirt on. And Sarah said to me, you know what? Your shirt, what color is your shirt? And I said, it's gray. And she goes, well, it doesn't look gray. It looks brown.
Yeah.
Tan.
It looked like a beigey color almost.
And she says, you know, you got to change it. It's not really right. And so a lot of people will say, well, it's gray and I got gray hair and blah, blah, blah. Warm, cool, and try to get, you know, find yourself on that spectrum. And that's clothing, that's hair, that's brows. And then it's also lip color and blush color, and so that everything is in harmony.
That's the ultimate goal, to be in harmony, have that light reflecting off of you, and it just making peace with everything about you.
Kumbaya.
Yes. Now, I hope we have covered everything. Are we missing?
Well, we've gotten a lot of questions and comments that we haven't covered. And one of them I want to bring up, because I really agree with this and I would love to do a video of this. Susan says, could you do a show for those of us who are going gray?
Okay.
That may have a little warmth, but still feel like a neutral and feel like the gray ages us. Warm colors make up. Yes, ma'am, we can. We would love to do that.
Now, I do want to say, if you do find yourself to have a little bit more warmth in your gray, then try out some softer spring colors. That might help you out a little bit. I don't know what your hair looks like, but if you still have that warmth and you're graying, try some softer spring colors.
And I understand that you can get transparent glazes in terms of color. So let's say that I decide I want a little more warmth in my hair. Maybe I'm warmer. Maybe my eyes are turquoise. Maybe my skin is a little warmer. I decide, the hair is just a little too cool for me. But I still love the dimension, because I've got everything from really dark gray to white. And I love that dimension. I understand that there are glazes that you can get, that are transparent glazes that can go over this, that will move you a little toward warmth. I actually do a purple rinse. I like to move myself in the other direction.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I didn't even know that they made glazes. That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
All right, so I'm going to keep going up through the comments. So when it comes to gray, we have a cool gray, which is going to be like your salt and pepper, or just like your in-between gray. You also have, there is a warmer gray. So if you are somebody who was a spring or an autumn and you're turning gray and you still have those strands coming through that are warm and golden blonde, or still have that auburn coming through, you could be a warm gray, but you're eventually going to get to a cool gray.
Well, yeah, and that's so important to recognize, because one of the things is, Sarah, as you know, my hair had a lot more of my auburn color in it at one time, so it was warmer. And if I remember correctly, you used to point out the really red hairs.
Yeah, you used to have, and that's kind of the transition. If you're a warmer season and you start going gray, you still have those hairs that like to come through and that are red and gold and show your warmth. And that's that hard transition right there, to trying to figure out where you are in your seasonal color palette. So we do have a section for those warm grays out there, but mostly you're going to end up in our cool gray section, which is going to be either.
Don't worry about it. We're not saying you got to, you have to.
Up to you.
Yeah, up to you. We'll work we'll, no matter what you want, we will help you figure it out. I mean, bottom line, if you want to be more of a golden, moving into blonde, if you want your hair to be, the perfect example, Diane Keaton. Diane Keaton has gray hair, but she puts enough blonde into her hair that she looks almost like an ash blonde. And so there's a whole spectrum of blonde to gray, light, that you can fall upon, that if you're not ready to be a cool gray, you can add some ash, you can add some platinum, as long as you keep, the most important thing, I think, and this may be a personal preference, but I think not having dimension in your hair. Dimension meaning streaks that go from light to cooler, that make it, I think when you get to be one color across the board, like you've dyed your hair and you picked a color and every single hair in your whole head is that one color, I think that ages. And so as you're making choices, try to keep it transparent, keep a lot of dimension in your hair, and I think that will you will be very satisfied with that look.
The only thing, I'm trying to think of hair colors that I think silver, though, if you have silver hair, because you have that light reflecting off of you, if you're one color right there, that's still okay, because I still think
white. I love, obviously, I'm looking forward, you know, when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, now you guys can weigh in on this. I'm thinking that when my hair gets to be fully white, if I deal with my brows
Mm-hmm.
and give myself a little more brow, I could wear bolder colors. Like I could move a little bit toward the winter palette.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I've definitely seen that. Mm-hmm. So I'm grabbing another comment. So we have, I really like the taupe eyebrow pencil. It's neutral and goes with my hair color, even if my hair color is warm. Yes. Taupe is a good color. It's that neutral. It's right in between. I could use taupe. You could use taupe. So if you're kind of in between right there and you need an eyebrow pencil, check out taupe. It's a really, really good shade. And we have a no brows club going on right now. So Brenda is starting a club no brows.
Honey, I'm in. Let me in. I need to be in.
Yes, you have so many people in that club. Granted, I have like these thick bushy ones that I try to maintain and I don't know, try to keep a non-unibrow, but I'm so sorry. I wish I could be a part of it.
You know, bushy, heavy brows are like in. They can't. They are so big.
Mm-hmm. I can't be that person that like spikes up their brows or like does crazy things. I'm that type
Please
of.
don't disparage your brows because they're beautiful. I love. Speaking from Mona Lisa, from my Mona Lisa brows.
Uh-huh.
You know why they shaped their brows in the Middle Ages? You look at all these paintings. This is just a fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, if somebody says you're so lucky, Sarah. Yes, you are so lucky.
I will tell you, the only thing I'm not lucky is I have a unibrow for sure. If I'm not sculpting right here, I got a unibrow. So
don't worry about it. It's like you're you know when they have Club Edward and Club Jacob or Jacob and well, you're Team Jacob. You got a lot extra hair.
Yeah, a werewolf brow. That's me.
Anyway. What I was going to say is back in the day, back in the Middle Ages, they shaved their brows because of lice.
Oh.
So all of you girls out there who don't have brows, man, we never have to worry about lice. So high five.
Yeah, that's good point right there.
I'm a silver lining kind of girl.
Yeah. You never know what you can find in those bad boys. All right.
Do you comb them for ticks?
Honestly, I do my brows pretty much every single day, so I at least brush them through so I don't get any tangles in there.
Condition them, shampoo, conditioner.
Yeah. Well, Holly, she said she's got huge brows. Girl, I'm with you. And my other thing is I get really long hairs at the end, so I'll have like one scraggle that will like go. There is something wrong with my brows. Like when you said I had werewolf when I was makeup, I was like, yeah, I kind of have werewolf brows. They have a mind of their own. I don't know what's going on, so I just trim them up as much as I can.
Did you notice that Linda asked what color your lipstick was, and I asked what color your lipstick was today?
We did have a question at the end of this video if we could go through what we are wearing. So yes, both of us will go through what we are wearing. And today I did sand and ivory foundation mixed. So the moisture complex, I mixed sand and ivory together. I also used sand under my eyes, and I did my contour with almond pressed powder foundation. You guys know I love a foundation as my contour. I feel like that's the only to get a really natural look to your contour is to use foundation. I also have on Playful lipstick. So I actually saved it just for you guys. Playful.
Cute. And that we typically prescribe that for springs, and I love it on this autumn here.
I wanted to get in the spring or the summer mood. I really just wanted to feel like, it's summer today. It's kind of hot. Good weather. Maybe I'll lay out on my patio later.
Wait a minute. You are only 15 minutes from me, and I have not good weather. I have cloudy weather, and it's cool.
It's sunny right here. I have like, there's no cloud. Yeah, it's super sunny where I am. So that's interesting. What else am I wearing? I'm wearing rose quartz as my under eye highlighter, or my underbrow and my inner corner highlighter, and on my nose. And I also have molten milk on my eyes as my all over shade. And then I did.
Nothing makes a blue eye look bluer than malted milk.
And I did black brown eyeshadow as my winged liner. I take a stiff brow brush and I just pretty much stamp it on there. So if you have a stiff brow brush, doing soft winged liner is really easy because you can just take the brush, dip it in the powder, and stamp it on, and you have a winged.
And let me speak to that because, again, autumns are a soft season. Autumns and summers are soft seasons. They're the two soft seasons in the warm category. And of course, winter and spring, they're bold. One of the beautiful things that you've chosen to do with the way that you did your wing, can you imagine her with black eyeliner? Can you imagine how harsh that would look? So doing it this way, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, you can definitely, I like to think right now, you can tell that I'm wearing a winged eyeliner, but I feel like it's a bit softer. But when I wear just like a all black liquid liner, it's just, whew. I mean, it looks it's like I painted on or I Sharpied my eyeliner on. So,
however, winters and spring not so much. But if you use brown, if springs do a brown liner, it can be heavy. But winters, they're really the only season, in my opinion, that can pull off a black liner.
That's for sure. Now, I do have one more question. My blush is Allspice blush. I've been kind of addicted lately to Allspice blush. I really love it. It kind of, I don't know. I just like it.
Yeah, it makes your little cheeks look.
Yeah, I like it. So Allspice blush is the blush I'm wearing. Am I leaving anything out? I think I got everything. I did a quicker look today, so I think I have everything. What lipstick are you wearing?
Frosted Watermelon Girl.
Of course.
I started out with the latte that I love so much. And Sarah said, you are looking really gray today. You need to like ratchet up the color. So I went to another favorite that I have, which is Frosted Watermelon.
We have a good question, Martha. Can you wear malted milk if you are a winter but have blue eyes?
Yes.
Yes. Do I have malted milk with me? I don't. I'm so sorry. I didn't grab that. Malted milk, it's not a red brown. It's a
not really anything brown. It's
a neutral brown.
It's not gold. It's just the most flattering skin tone brown you can ever imagine. And it happens to be exactly opposite on the color wheel of blue. And it makes your blue eyes look so blue.
It does. I absolutely love malted milk. Every time I do my eyeshadow, some form of malted milk goes on my eyes. So
I love you with malted milk. I also love you with Tuscany
Palm. Yes, usually
really beautiful.
A couple times I've done my eyeliner with Tuscany Palm just to bring out the green in my eyes. So if you do have a green eye and you want to bring that out a bit, or like a hazel eye, Tuscany Palm would be gorgeous on you as well. So
not so much for winters.
It's Tuscany Palm is a little bit soft, so we like to recommend it for summers and autumns. So if you're in there and you have like a
little more green, it's a little bit warmer.
Yes. Now,
Yuri just said something, and I think we should go make this change like immediately. It should be listed for all seasons. Yes. For a blue eye, absolutely.
Yeah, it really should. You know what? You are so right. It really does need to be listed for all seasons because it's not a warm brown. When you look at it, like I would almost think I could use it as a contour because it could
contour of what?
like a actual face contour powder. You could use that shade for a neutral.
You'd have to do it really light. You'd have to really gentle about
it.
Mix it with a translucent powder.
It's made to be an eyeshadow. So if you're taking that recommendation, be careful because you're going to have very heavy pigment. So take that lightly.
Martha, call us if you're, you know, if you're saying I'm not going to get this because it says it's a spring or an autumn and it's not really for me. Eyeshadows are a completely different beast, and we have wrestled with this for years. Because do you want to follow your season or do you want to play up your eye color? I like to play up my eye color. Sarah chooses to play up her eye color. So we can help you with that. And in fact, I think we did a tutorial at one time. Maybe we need to do one again that just deals with making your eye color the most beautiful it can be.
Yeah, it's a fine line to try to figure out where you need to be within, because you know your eye color, once again, you could be neutral, you could be warm, it could be cool, so it's really in the middle. And I do like to play up my eyes, so I tend to follow whatever will look and enhance my eyes that particular day.
I've noticed that you do what I do. And that is, we both have an eye color that's not really blue, it's not really green. And so let's say if you've got one of those neutral eye colors that's kind of in the middle and you want your eyes to look green one day, choose something that's a little more rosy, like an aubergine. If you want your eyes to look really blue, go with the malted milk. So the more red, and be careful about the red. Choose one of our reds, because there's some red eyeshadows that make you look like you've been crying for a week and a half. And, you know, you don't want that. But if you choose something like an aubergine that's really soft, you'll see that suddenly your eyes are green. If you choose the malted milk, then they're blue. It's the magical color.
Yeah. Eye color is tough. Now, blush, lipstick, follow your season, absolutely, 100%. But eyeshadow is a bit tougher. Yeah.
To choose. And we're here for you. Whatever, you know, if you have a question, if you're thinking, well, you know, I want an eye enhancer. And also if you want us to do a video on just enhancing your eyes.
You know what? We did have, Holly McBride said, can you do an eyeshadow eyeliner tutorial? So yes.
We're on it.
We will do that.
Sherry says that her eye color is aqua and changes with what she wears.
Yes.
And you can control that change too. If you want it to look greener, you want it to look bluer, and lucky you to have aqua color eyes.
Yeah, mine change colors too, so I know what you're talking about. But yours sound like you might be a little bit greener. So cool.
Brighter. Is she spring? What's your hair color, Sherry?
Yes, we'd love to know your season. Yes, and another person. Yes, Martha, we will do a video on eyes for you and trying to get the best eyeshadow for everyone based off your eye color and your season. So
I have a question for you, Sarah. You can't see it on me because I have glasses on and I lose that whole part of my face. But you have a beautiful, if you look at the apple of your cheeks, you know, just this area right here, it's very light, and then below that you've got color. How do you choose where you apply your blush to get such dimension in your cheeks?
I do 2-finger rule. I think Wayne Goss is the first person I saw it on, and take 2 fingers, put it right up against your nose and your lip, and I keep my blush this far. So if you notice, my blush kind of starts like right along here. So 2-finger rule, and then I kind of smile and I will blush. The video's backwards. You guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because what I'm seeing here is the area under your eyes is luminous. It really is luminous.
Thank you. Well, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to draw your blush in here you want to keep it further out here. But if I smile and I kind of place it on the apples of my cheeks, just 2 fingers back from my lips and my nose, and kind of dab it back and into my hairline. And then I also have a little bit up here just to kind of blend it all together. But yes, 2-finger rule works great for blush, because then sometimes I used to tend to kind of draw my blush in too far in, and it kind of drags my face forward and down instead of brightening up my face and bringing it.
I've noticed that when the way you're doing it now, it lifts this entire section of your face. You look like you have a spotlight on your face.
Thank you.
Area, and I want that.
Yeah, 2-finger roll. I love the 2-finger roll. I think it's a really important to make sure that you don't drag your blush into your face. And finding a blush that's in your season so it just melts into your skin tone. If you notice, it almost looks like I have like it melts right into my contour, but I actually have contour and I have blush right here. You can see it better when I'm looking straight on. You can see my blush color, but a blush that just melts into your skin tone. So make sure you're using it for your season.
Yeah, you know what? I think we need a color kit. We need a new color kit with blush, with an eyeshadow, maybe a color wheel for anybody who doesn't already have their color wheel. A lipstick. Sarah.
Okay, we can do that. That's easy enough. Yeah. I'm trying to, so we have a few blush highlight video after eyeshadow liner one. Okay, we will absolutely do that for you.
Clearly, I think people are saying to you, Sarah, let's do some demos, some makeup demos.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of what we need for everyone, just to make sure we got all the colors done. Let's see, I have blue eyes. Certain colors make my eyes look brighter blue, and others make my eyes look grayer. What is your recommendation? P.S. I'm a natural blonde. All right, so you have blue eyes. I would go for a brown. Browns look gorgeous if you have blue eyes. So Molten Milk is always going to be my go-to for brown eyes. It's a stunning shade. I'm trying to think, what other colors would I do for blue eyes? I would also play up the inner corners as well. So if I were to just one eye look that would really, really play up the blue would be a nice neutral brown like Molten Milk, and really do a, rose quartz would kind of be what I'm thinking, like an illuminator in the inner corners of your eye, since you want to brighten it up. So in inner corners, do something that has just some lightness to it that will kind of give you that shine effect, and that will really help play out blue.
This is such a good tip, because people of our age, the inner corner was never something that we ever dealt with, ever. And I love what you do with that. So, and I think that for people of our age, doing that, I think, is a benefit. I think it helps sculpt our faces, and it will actually make us look younger.
If you're trying to brighten up your eye area, definitely take a highlighter shade. I took Rose Quartz today, and just right into the inner corners. I don't want to touch my face right now too much, but right into the inner corners. And then I also do a little like dot on my nose, if you can tell, just to help up this.
Now I can.
Yes, have a little on the tip of my nose just to help brighten it up a little bit. And now I feel like it's too much.
No, it's fine. And somebody is asking my makeup colors.
Yes.
Again, I went with the frosted watermelon today after Sarah told me that my mocha latte was too dull.
You were looking all bright and fabulous, and so I wanted a lipstick that matched your bright and happy birthday.
Happy birthday face.
Yeah.
And my blush, I went with the Natural Veil today, which is, sometimes I do the rose, sometimes I don't, but the Natural Veil was just speaking to me. Plus, we were talking warm, cool, and neutral, and I thought that would be a great one to add. I also do the mocha latte, or the Molten Milk eyeshadow.
Love Molten Milk.
but I do it very lightly. Rose quartz, which I do mostly over my whole eye because of my age. I find that I can do malted milk around the eye a little bit, but I like to keep my eye area light because it keeps me lifted. And so that's where I go.
So I know we have gone way off topic now, and I hope everyone, if you came late, check back to the beginning, because I want to make sure you were able to figure out your skin tone versus what hair color you should be wearing based off your skin tone.
You're able to figure everybody's skin tone for the next week until we're back with you. Oh, and we're here on Mondays too. We switched we were doing kind of a home spa Friday, and we decided to do kind of a magical Mondays where we do a little bit of all of it.
Well, this is perfect, because one thing we were kind of feeling like we were missing was we had a lot on Fridays. We always talk skincare, but we kind of realized we were missing the makeup component, because we were getting a lot of questions about makeup. And we do like talking color on Wednesdays, and there's so much to talk about with color, but we were kind of missing the makeup component and trying to figure out, the right shades for your season. And it's pretty much what we're talking about. So we decided to make our Friday spa day all incorporate of beauty, skincare, makeup. We're going to talk about everything on Monday, anything relating to color cosmetics. So that's going to be on Mondays now. We're really.
What are you calling it, Sarah?
We've come up with a few names.
You guys are welcome to throw in your ideas as well.
Remember, we still need help with names. The one that is kind of leading everything is like a beautiful Monday, or the beautiful Monday, something that we want to be happy on Mondays and get our spirits lifted. And
because Mondays really stink.
Yeah, so we're trying. If you guys have any other name recommendations for Monday's show, let us know. We really need help.
But the idea is, when you join us on Mondays, choosing glasses, Linda. Thank you. I love that topic. But when you join us on Mondays, you walk away with real world tools that you can apply to look great.
Right. So that's what Monday's show is all going to be about. So we hope to see you here on Monday. And yes, at noon, as always. What about it?
Here's an important question. Should we drink?
I mean, it is Monday. So I feel like
we need an opinion on that. Maybe we don't drink on Monday, but by the time we get to Wednesday, we really need this beautiful bottle of wine.
Yes. So let us know if you guys have any suggestions about the Monday show. We need every bit of input we can possibly get to make
this is your show too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about you guys. So whatever you guys want, that's kind of what is going to make our show as good as possible. So, and if you guys need any suggestions, if you want to know your season, you can always take the color quiz, or you can
come to us directly. I mean, we're here for you. I don't think there's anybody out there, any of you guys can say that if you ask us a question, we didn't get right back to you and give you the best answer we could.
We try really hard to make sure we answer everything, but yes, we try very, very hard. And if we don't answer the first time, then email us again, because we will get to you, and we never want to leave anyone out. I'm just worried that if we say that we've missed a message, whoops, so sorry.
Well, you can call us to task right here on the video.
Yeah. And if you have any questions about anything we said today, leave us a comment. We'll be happy to go back.
And thank you for sharing my birthday with me, guys.
Yeah, happy birthday. We're so excited. So happy that Wide About It fell on your birthday.
I was happy about that too, because otherwise I would be like drinking Prosecco and looking at birds.
Yeah. That's perfect quarantine birthday right there. That's probably what we're all going to be doing. Yes, and we hope everyone enjoys the rest of their week and has a fabulous weekend. So
and we'll see you on Monday. Mondays and Wednesdays. We want you to be with us twice a week.
All right.
a doctor.
Yes.
Come see us twice a week.
See everyone on Monday and have an awesome weekend.